This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome to The Secret to Everything. I am Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and we are here with a couple amazing ladies. One of them is Ms. Lori Wynn, back by popular request to help me co-host the show. Welcome, Lori.
Hi, Dr. Kim. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, we have a good old time, don't we? We probably drive everybody crazy. It's like we get on our own little world, and we have so much to talk about today. We will be bringing on in a little bit, probably after the first break, an amazing guest, Ms. Julie Coraccio, and she considers herself a Chief Possibility Officer. What's that, you ask? Well, she's actually an award-winning professional organizer, and she is going to talk to us about mindset and clutter and energy, and sounds like some of our favorite things, right, Lori?
Oh, absolutely. And it's spring, so it'll have to do with spring training.
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely, Lori. It'll have to do with spring training. I told you guys. Yeah, Lori and I get together, and it gets absolutely kind of crazy. No, it is a really great time. I agree. Lots of stuff, speaking of spring, going on at Secret to Everything, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about it. Sometimes people are like, we don't even know what you do. You just have all these amazing guests, but we are more than just the best radio hosts on the best network in the best world in the universe. We have a lot more going on, don't we, Lori?
Oh, we have tons going on. So much I can barely keep up with them. Why don't you tell people?
There you go. I'd be happy to. Thank you for asking. It's so funny. My daughter, who runs my back office, she was saying, don't you think we have a little too much going on right now? And I'm like, I can do more. And she's like, please, no. So I just want to say we're wrapping up our beautiful Introduction to Intuition course, Magic of Intuition. And I don't know what you think, Lori, but that has just been phenomenal. Even those that are like more advanced in the intuitive arts and that have been intuitives for a long time, I think everyone's really enjoyed the class quite a bit. Don't you think, Lori?
Oh, absolutely. And, we do several scans in that course, and it's really interesting to find out what your actual giftings are. I thought that was really exciting to know that. And it gives you the ability to stand in those giftings, and it really makes you encouraged.
It's so funny because someone was talking to me today. They were interested in taking the evergreen part of that class because after we go live, which is always fun, it's also fun to take it kind of at your own pace and kind of when you want to and a little more maybe quietly. So different people like different aspects of that ability. And the woman was like, I just went to a weekend seminar where they told us what our gifts were. And I said, but what's really cool about my classes, and this is true, Lori, and about the technology we use, we don't tell you what your gifts are. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, really? And she said, I thought you did. And I said, no, absolutely not. You tell us what your gifts are. How cool is that, Lori?
That's the most awesome part of it, because you can walk around and not know. And then all of a sudden, and you're like, wow, this awareness makes me even stand stronger in my own truth. So it's really powerful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about the tech. And I know you've got a story, which I'm probably going to wait till after the break for you to share. But I wanted to share just something. I have so much to share. But one of the things I wanted to share was I was running some scans this morning on the technology, and I was working with somebody who I didn't know. And I got a result on the tech that was really puzzling. And when I gave her her results, Lori, I'm brutally honest. I mean, I would say at times, but there is no at times. I'm just brutally honest. We'll let that lay. I'm okay with that. You tend to be too, Lori.
Yeah.
And I've got to have a cohort in crime here. And I'm running these scans and I'm sharing my results with her. And I'm like, a really weird thing came up. And I said, I just have to tell you what came up. And I said, it says that you cannot hear out of one side. And she's like, which side? I'm like, the left side. And she's like, absolutely, I'm totally deaf in my left side. Isn't that like amazing? I thought it was like a fluke, and it was like, how specific. I do not know this person. How is that even possible? I did not use my psychic abilities.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? And everybody's like, why and how and why and how? And I wish you guys realized that you are these like energetic like radio towers, and you send out absolutely everything. Did I say everything? Thoughts. You can read my thoughts. Absolutely. Emotions. You can read my emotions. Absolutely. You know this is true, right, Lori? We can read everything. As a matter of fact, my engineers, if we don't have it in there, we can put it in there. We were talking about creating one last night. So anyway, check out, and Lori can tell you stories, and maybe we'll twist her arm to tell one after the break. But Energy Mastered is the app. One of the pieces of technology we're talking about, secrettoeverything.com, is where you can find that. And when we come back from the break, we promise, at some point, introduce you to our lovely guest, and we will be talking all about the topic of clearing the clutter out of all parts of your lives. Here with Lori Wynn, famous author, right here on The Secret to Everything.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? I'm Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and on The Secret to Everything, we will merge the practical with open investigation into all realms of the mysterious. We will talk to cutting-edge alternative health practitioners, those who inspire and motivate you in business and life, and of course, we will share stories of the paranormal, conspiracy, and cryptozoology. You will transform because of the frequency I carry, the frequencies my guests carry. Life may never be the same after you listen to this program, for the secret to everything is for you, the listener, for those who desire more in every area of their lives and believe that it can still be found. Listen and discover thesecrettoeverything.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Welcome back to The Secret to Everything. I am Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and we are here with my cohort and co-host, Miss Lori Wynn. Say hi again, Lori.
Hi, everybody. We're having a party here.
Woohoo! I don't know. I must be feeling kind of antsy. It is spring. Well, at least it's spring here in North Carolina, and it's all. We're not going to talk about where you live. It's just not worth it, you guys. You'll get too jealous. So we're not going to talk about where Lori lives. We'll just stay with North Carolina. That's good. And we will be speaking in a few minutes to Ms. Julie Coraccio, and she is a Chief Possibility Officer. But I really love what she does. She has a podcast called Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out. And I love that she talks about clearing the clutter inside, because we definitely talk about that too in the courses I teach. And she actually knows a little bit about North Carolina because she's based in Raleigh, North Carolina, where my parents used to live. So I'm pretty familiar with that area. And Lori, don't you hail from out that way?
I came from there and moved to Florida. So yes, I'm very familiar with Raleigh. Love it.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that in a minute. But I'm going to put Lori on the spot and say, tell us a story, Lori.
Well, because it's spring and I am in the middle of a lot of production, every time I would go into my office, I didn't want to stay there. It was cluttered. It had so much. I had been traveling and it had just junk everywhere. So I decided I'm all about rhythm, and the planets were in line and new moons, and so I decided to purge. I actually did a big purge, and I used different colors and did a lot of energy clearing in my own office, and now I am ready to create my products, and I'm real joyful about it because it's just brought a whole new vibe into my life, and it's exciting to be in here. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm excited to hear what Julie has to say about the clearing the clutter. But yeah, that's my story. And I also have to talk about the energy app too, because every time I get off of balance or things aren't right, I kind of test the environment with the energy app, and I can always see where something is awry. So I'm able to fix that through the tones. But we can talk about that a little bit later.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And no more suspense. Welcome to The Secret to Everything, Julie.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I love that you host a podcast where I assume you kind of dance around the subjects pretty regularly of inside and outside clutter. I think as Americans anyway, in my observation, because at one time my ex-husband and I actually owned storage units, And right there, that kind of sets off bells in my head. I'm in this new movement called minimal luxury. So I'm definitely going to have my luxuries, but I'm going to go as minimal as I can. I really love the minimalist movement. I'm just not ready to give up like everything and sit on the floor on blankets and, sleep with a pillow. So just a pillow. So I don't like taking that to the extreme. I kind of like balance and everything. So let's start at the beginning. So we're all on the same page as we, delve, in with our unique perspectives to this topic. How do you define clutter, Julie?
I define it a little differently than most people. I'm thrilled, first of all, that you brought up energetic clutter, because so many people, that's not even on their radar. But most times when we think about clutter, we think of the messy desk, we think of the closet full of clothes, but clutter is so much more than physical clutter. And when I really distill it down, to me, clutter is anything that prevents you from creating the life you choose, deserve, and desire. It's stuck, stagnant energy. It's delayed decisions. It doesn't matter if it's emotional clutter, spiritual clutter, clutter in your relationships, your health, or your finances. If it's preventing you from sharing your gifts with the world, it's clutter.
I actually got chills when you said that, because that's really pretty profound. I think, I always have this rewind moment where I tell everyone to rewind the show and listen to something. And I think that was like one of my rewind moments in this show, or download it and then rewind it, or just keep playing it. That's fine, whatever. But I love that you said that, because it's super profound. You know what? I see clutter, and I know you'll agree, as distraction energy. So for me, from my perspective, anything that takes me off of I like extreme pleasure. So extreme pleasure, playing with my dogs, enjoying time with my kids, and work is extreme pleasure for me as well. But anything that takes me off of something I'd rather be doing, to me, is distraction. And do not agree. I find that my clutter, and I'm horrific. This is like an issue for me. I don't know about Lori, but it's an issue for me. It's so time consuming. I spent, I'd say maybe 20 minutes today, because Julie, I knew I had a coupon for a deep clean maid service for spring cleaning. And I spent 25 minutes. Is that crazy? Looking for a tiny piece of paper.
It's not crazy. And actually, you're doing pretty well, because most people waste between an hour and 2 each day looking for things. So you're a little bit ahead of the curve. But when you think about it, you could have spent 20 minutes with your kids, with your dog, just meditating, doing something that brought you joy. And instead, you were getting harried, like, oh my gosh, where is that coupon? And you spent 20 minutes looking for it.
The other point I love that you kind of just opened up for me, and we'll get Lori's input on it too, but it's so funny, because that 20 minutes, I'm looking for a coupon for what? To save $10, to save $15. But just with my business, what I could invest doing could have made, do you know what I mean? Like maybe 10 times that.
Yeah,
coupon.
exactly.
So sometimes we not only create distraction with clutter, we actually waste time chasing distraction with clutter, which is super crazy. Now, I want to back up a minute, because I want people to get to know you. First of all, could you drop your website for us real quick in case people want to check it out? Because unlike other radio shows, I'm like, keep listening and go to the website and follow along. Perfectly fine with us. So go ahead and tell us what that is.
Excellent. It's reawakenyourbrilliance.com. And if you just start, hopefully it'll come up, but reawakenyourbrilliance.com.
Okay, thank you. I absolutely love that. Tell us a little bit about you, though. I mean, I'm relatively sure, Julie, you just did not drop down from the sky as an angel of decluttering, and to bless us all with your wisdom. Like, how did you get into this? It's kind of a niche thing.
Well, it's really interesting. My previous work was in fund development. I was really successful at raising grants and was the director of development. And the last job that I had was horrible. However, every day I say thank them and have gratitude for them, because if they hadn't treated me so horribly, I don't know if I would have had the strength to start my own business, because it's a big deal when I was single at the time and when you go out on your own. And so I thought, okay, within 2 weeks of the job, I'm like, this is a quote unquote mistake. I don't believe in mistakes. And I said, all right, well, what's the next step going to be? Because I'm going to take the time to plan it. And I thought, what could I do that I'm good at and that I enjoy and can become passionate about? And so looking back on my life, I'm like, well, gosh, I can help people get organized, because every time they're like, you're uptight, come over and help me get organized. And kind of my process has been, when I first started in 2009, my business name was Healing Through Organization, because I saw how getting organized could heal people. And as I continued in my working, and I had started a live internet TV show where I probably would have interviewed women like you, because it was about interviewing body, mind, spirit experts, and that was Reawaken Your Brilliance. And I found out through that process and working with clients, I'm like, wow, it's really about the clutter. And as I did my own personal development, I was focused more on let's clear the clutter, because once we clear that, it's a heck of a lot easier to get organized. And so it has used my skill set. I've always been a good listener. I always believe that we have the answers within. It's just my job to support the person and figuring out what's important to them. And so it's been wonderful combining my skill sets. And what gets me excited is when you clear your clutter, and you mentioned it, I love the distraction energy. I think that that's fantastic as well. Then you can focus on what you do where you're fantastic, and then that allows you to support others. And when you support others, they can support others, and so on. And that's the type of world I'm trying to create, where everyone is happy, joyful, passionate, and sharing their gifts with the world.
I love that so much. And one of the things, well, I guess I always go back to the why. I'm analytical by nature. Why do I have, like I'm looking right now, I actually just took a whole big load of things to the Goodwill. But before I did, literally, why did I have about 50 books on my shelf, brand new, that I have never read? Why? Like, why do we do that? Why do we have clothes? Oh, I've got to tell you guys this. You'll appreciate this, Julie. You will too, Lori. I have been keeping, and Lori knows me, like personally, like in person personally, but I have been keeping, you're going to love this, Lori, a pair of size 4 shorts from 8 years ago. Because I'm like, someday I'm going to wear those. I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh. But why do we do that?
Well, first of all, remember you're not alone. In the examples of the shorts, I look at keeping something like that in the closet as taunting you, saying, okay, haha, when you get down here. And so what I always tell people at the closet is live in the moment. What represents who you are or who you want to be. And if you're trying to lose weight, then get rid of the stuff that doesn't fit, donate it, give it to a battered women's shelter or someone who can use it right now. And then when you get down to your ideal weight, go out and buy clothes. So there really are a variety of reasons why we might keep something. And, with clothes, I paid a lot of money for it. That sometimes if you still have something that you never wore with the tag still on, be like, oh, I paid good money for that. Do I really want to let it go? And then what I would say is, what is it costing you? Because it's taking up real estate in your closet. It's kind of niggling at the back of your head saying, ha, you spent a lot of money on me and you're not wearing me. And so different things. It could be, sometimes people hold on to, you mentioned books, that there's a fear of losing information. Well, if I give this book away, will I lose some information that I can't gain back? So it really depends on a lot of things. And also people have a fear that if they give it away, they won't be able to find it again. And so what I always like to say is trust you'll get what you need when you need it. Because if you've been holding on for it for years and haven't been using it, you're not using it, you're not needing it, it's just collecting dust. I think there's a statistic that we have something like $2,000 in unused tech gadgets in junk drawers and attics, and that most people have something like $15,000 worth of stuff collecting dust while having like $7,000 in credit card debt. And so, well, if you got some of that stuff sold, you could reduce your credit card debt.
And I'm not gonna let Lori talk till after the break, because once Lori starts talking, like, we'll burn our break, and that just won't be good. But so Lori, don't say anything till after the break. I'm gonna bring you on with your opinions and observations. But this is such a rich conversation. I hope you guys really understand, men, women, children. I just have so many places I think we can go with this. And now I understand why you have a podcast based on this theme, because you can really go a lot of directions once you get into the energy of it. And I've got to share, I hauled around things. Now, this isn't as, dramatic, but when I was in high school and you pack up to go to college, I'm like, oh, I have to bring all my books. And, I accumulated more books in college. I'm a book person. And, my clothes and everything. And when I was driving back after I graduated from college to Ohio, my car stopped in the middle of 5 lanes of Chicago traffic, totally at a dead stop. I thought I was going to die, and that was it. So I got towed to a gas station, and my dad came to pick me up. And I had packed my car, which was pretty large, so full that he didn't have room in the car that he brought for all my stuff. What did we do? There happened to be a dumpster in the gas station. He's like, you got to get rid of it. Just go through your books, get rid of it. Sitting here today at the age I am, honestly, I have not missed one thing I've thrown away that day or since. And I think, I don't know. I know we're programmed from birth, from cradle to grave, in a consumerism, materialistic culture. So stuff means a lot of things. And I love that you pointed this out. It means different things to different people in different situations. And there's different reasons for why we have so much stuff, for why we don't give away our stuff, et cetera, et cetera. We'll be delving into many, many, many of those reasons when we come back from the break with Miss Julie Coraccio, who is the host of a podcast, Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out, right here on The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge.
Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere, Florida. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine such as hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining rooms can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you visit, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic downtown Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best.
You are listening to The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, with Miss Lori Wynn, and with Julie Coraccio. And we are talking about how to reawaken your brilliance with healing and rearranging and moving energy through organization and clearing clutter. And honestly, I wish I'd had you on for 2 hours, because I think we're going to have you back. This is actually a recent and always been kind of a passionate topic for me, but I actually have an addiction to throwing things away. You know how people have obsessions? I actually love the feeling of getting rid of things. That's probably why I have so much junk, because I like to feed my obsession. It feels so cleansing to get rid of stuff, Julie.
It really does. I always feel like pounds when I donate things. And I have gotten to the point where I'm in a cycle that I'm constantly donating. Well, let's work on this room. Let's do this. And so if I have stuff coming in, I want stuff coming out, because also from an energetic perspective, that's creating flow. And you can't create the life you desire if you have all this stagnant energy. If you're thinking about it in terms like of a straw, if you're like, the straw is so tight and you can't suck anything up, it's kind of like that with energy. How can you create that relationship or that product or that career if you are squeezing the energy? But when you have flow and things are going in and out, that opens up and provides space.
And even though we're not talking about this, I want to mention that that's super, super true for money. And a lot of my clients say, why is my income not growing? And why can I, and it's not always this, but sometimes we're holding so tightly to what we have, and we're like, okay, we got to, like you said, tamp this down so we can add more, meaning, hold on to it. But really, we need to let some of it go. We need to say, okay, what resonates with my heart? Is it animals? Is it children? Is it women? Is it homeless? Whatever it is, is it the planet? We need to let even some of our money go. I think everything, and of course, the Eastern philosophies are much better at this than the Western, because we're totally opposite. But, I think that is so crucial, whether everything's energy. So whatever that energy is, like you said, whether it's your clothes or your books or your cars or your homes and it's so funny. You are so right. I moved from a 2-bedroom, this is long ago when I was married, but a 2-bedroom condo to a 4-bedroom huge house in the country. And I barely had any stuff, Julie, but all of a sudden in a year, do you know every closet, and we had a walkout basement and a 3.5-car garage, every closet, every shelf, the shelves in the bottom garage. I mean, it was crazy. All of a sudden, my stuff grew to fit my space. And then we're like, this is too small. And that's crazy. It wasn't too small. It's just we had too much junk that we said to ourselves we didn't have the time to go through. There's excuses for everything. So I'm going to let Lori jump in on, because I know she's thinking some things. So we'll get to some other subject, but let's see what Lori has to say.
Well, what really stuck out to me was when you were saying, why do we hold on to things? And it was fear-based, like we're not going to have this or we're not going to have that. And, just playing in that energy of fear. When I moved from Raleigh to Florida, I had to scale down. And I ended up throwing a lot of things away, and that released me to throw things away and not be attached to it. So there's this attachment that we get to these things that we need to detach from in order to, like you said, create that flow, to create that energy of giving and receiving and all of it. So that was what really stuck out to me, because you can't create what's next if you're like stuck in the muck, of where you are. And living in the moment, that really, the size 4 shorts, I have a couple of those hanging around as well. And, even though I downsized, they're still in a tub somewhere that I haven't gotten to. So it's kind of crazy when you have to move or you have to do things because you don't have the space. Then you realize, why am I hanging on to this? I haven't used it in years. Why am I even having it? So yeah, it's the detaching and holding on to things that we cling to sometimes.
You brought up, I love that you talked about the present moment, because the present moment is our point of power to change. If you're in the present, then you let go of those size 4 shorts, because right now the size 4 shorts don't fit. And if you are rooted in the present, then you're not anxious about the future and whether or not you're going to have enough office supplies or whatever it is. So you don't keep 50,000 cartons of paper, whatever it is needed. So if the more present you are, the more you're able to release your clutter. And I also wanted to talk, if it's okay, about memories, because that's somewhere where I see people.
I was just going to ask you that. Yeah, talk about that.
Well, we're on the same wavelength, so this is good. So many times people have memories collecting dust in their garage. Well, it was my parents or it was my family's. And so I have a couple thoughts on that. First of all, what I always tell my clients, if the person has passed and they're on the other side, they want you to be happy. If you're not using it, you don't love it, sell it and make some money, offer it to another family member, donate it to a charity, but don't keep it if it's creating clutter for you. And we often get confused because our memories are in our heart and they're in our head and they are not in the object, but we place them in the object. And we think, oh, if I get rid of, I'll tell you a good example. So my grandma is very close to my grandmother. And when she died, my parents and my aunts were awesome. They said, we want everyone to have something from Grandmother Seibert. And so I ended up getting her childhood bedroom set, which is antique. I love antiques. And so gave me that. And they also sent, in the time I'm living in Los Angeles, so this had to be shipped out. And I also got a set of dishes, I'm going to guess from the 1950s, that were sign up for a checking account. We'll give you a free set of dishes. I mean, I remember using these as a child, but they at one point were white or now a dingy gray. And so I have these dishes and I'm like, well, I'm not going to use them. They're dingy gray. I'm like, oh, but they're Grandmother Seibert. And then I saw Peter Walsh speak before he was huge. I was at an event. And the next day I took the items and donated them because I thought my grandmother's not in there. My grandmother's not in these dishes. All these lovely memories I have with her, they aren't in the dishes. And keeping the antique furniture, which I love, as well as use for when guests come over, that's a good use of the memories. And because I use it, why would I get rid of it? And I see a lot of people, guilt is a big thing. I had a client with a basement full of items and she was afraid to let it go. And that's why, again, I mentioned a moment ago, I tell people, trust that they've moved on. They want you to be happy and let it go because it's causing you stress having all this stuff. It's taking up valuable room in your home and it's not helping you. So let that stuff go.
It's so funny you said that because when my grandparents passed, they're all like divided. All the furniture went to the 7 grandchildren and they had really nice stuff and really expensive, really nice, tasteful stuff. And one of the things I inherited was my grandparents' hutch. And this just goes to show how many generations the programming goes down. Because I just said the other day to my kids, I said, you know what? I don't want a hutch in my dining room. Don't stone me, you guys. I don't want a hutch in my It's so funny because I read energy, so I see people like, why not? What's wrong with a hutch in your dining room? I don't want a hutch in my dining room. I'm building a log home, and it just doesn't really go with the log home thing that I'm doing. And, you change, you grow, and hopefully your actions and your choices reflect that, right? And so I said to my girls, I'm going to get rid of this. If any of you guys want it, I'm not storing it either. So you guys need to talk to Nana and Papa or figure something out because I want this gone. Oh my gosh, my girls are teenagers and college kids age, and you would not believe what I got. They were like, Mom, no, you can't. It's your grandparents. No, it has to stay in the family. Freak out. You wouldn't think that the teenagers, Julie, would freak out because I'm getting rid of my grandmother's hutch. And you know what I said to them? Just what you said. I said, girls, I remember my grandparents very strongly. They're standing here right now. I have awesome memories. The memories of bending over in the hot 90-degree sun in Ohio, picking strawberries and popping them in my mouth and looking down the rows and seeing my hardworking grandfather doing the same thing. Burned in my memory. Hopefully I'll keep my memory forever. I don't need a hutch. Even looking at the hutch doesn't usually trigger the strawberry. You know what I'm saying, Julie? So I totally agree. I don't know why we give things so much power in our lives.
I think that's how we've been conditioned. And, we have the keeping up with the Joneses. If you have more, that means you're worth more. Now, we, of course, know that that's not true. But I'm going to say, at least for American society, that's my perspective on it. And that's one thing that adds to it. This constant, I have to get more, I have to get more. And so what's been really lovely, in my opinion, is this move to downsizing, this move to minimalism, this move to a simpler life. And it's not a one size fit all. I love the term that you used earlier. You're going to keep the things that You don't have to get rid of everything. If it brings you joy, keep it. And what I say about collections, for example, when it goes crazy, like every square inch is covered with angels or whatever it is that you have, that's when you need to start and say, okay, what's going on here? And in feng shui, they believe when you collect something that you're collecting what you believe you're missing from your life. And so I use angels because I used to collect angels, and it was after I was a victim of a violent attack in Los Angeles, and angels made me feel loved and protected. And once I understood and healed that I don't collect angels anymore. Now I have angels around the home. I still love them, but I would be like all the time if I saw an angel, had to buy it, and it's not like that anymore. So that's a good thing for collections to look at that. Or with my husband, like, okay, you don't have to have all the latest electronics, and he's gotten a lot better, or a good balance for each other. But it's not having collections in electronics and books and gadgets and cars. It's like, okay, what's really important to you? Narrow that down, and what brings you passion. And again, you might change, like you've mentioned. So if you no longer collect angels, then give them away or donate them or try to sell them, whatever works for you, and then allow that new thing that makes you passionate to come into your life.
I don't know. I think I'm crazy or something, Lori. Well, we know I'm crazy, right, Lori? But stop laughing. You're not supposed to laugh. Remember who writes your checks. I'm just kidding. But I just love this topic. I think it's just so relevant. And we talk about current energy a lot in The Secret to Everything, right, Lori? And this is just so relevant, Julie, what you're doing. So let's say I call you up. Julie, help me with spring cleaning. And maybe I'm expecting one thing, but is your idea of spring cleaning something different?
Well, again, because we've been taught, I love that you guys are so open and to all of this. To me, spring cleaning, it's not just about the physical. It's like, yeah, great, open the windows, do the vacuuming, scrub the walls and floors. That's really great. But to me, it's about where can I cleanse mentally? And when I work with clients, I again, look at everything holistically. We're not going to just look at the physical. We're going to examine your mental. How's your mental state, your emotional, your spiritual, your energetic? How are your relationships? And so for me, what I do for spring and fall cleaning is I look at one area in all of those places to say, okay, what clutter do I need to clear? And it's a great time to check in. It's like, to change the batteries and the smoke alarm, to do spring cleaning, and to look at these areas to do your cleaning. It's not just physical. And what I'm passionate about is this message of don't look at clutter as just being physical stuff, because the physical stuff sometimes can be a lot easier to get rid of than the inner clutter.
Ooh, I don't like that. Let's not talk about that. That's work, right, Lori? It's work to look at yourself. You know what I'm big on right now, which kind of matches what you just said. I didn't realize it till you said it, Julie. I'm really big, and I've been talking to my girls a lot about owning my own stuff, which is kind of like, did you know you tend to be like this? And I'm like, no, I'm not like that. You're like that. You know how we get when we're asked to look at ourselves. But I'm trying to lean back and really own my stuff and say, okay, well, I don't want to work on that right now, or I am going to work on that right now. But we're going to crash into the break in a minute. So when we come back, we will discuss a lot of here, there, and everywhere, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical clutter right here on The Secret to Everything with Lori Wynn, Julie Coraccio, and Dr. Kimberly McGeorge.
Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xmindstream.com. xzbn.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world. There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the 4 corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
You've been listening to The Secret to Everything. I am Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and we are back once again for our final segment, talking about healing your life, your energy, a lot of things through, shockingly enough, organization. And I am here with the beautiful and amazing author, drummer, energy healer extraordinaire, Ms. Lori Wynn, and I am here with the lovely, energetic, energy-moving Julie Coraccio. I don't know why I'm saying all these adjectives of people, but I'm in the mood, so I'm going to do it. So Julie has a website called reawakenyourbrilliance.com, and as I always like to say, I love how people say don't go. As soon as someone tells me don't go, look at the website, you can bet you I'm right there. I'm like, why? It must be really good if you're telling me not to go. But I tell you guys, please go, or don't go if that motivates you to the website, and feel free to check out Julie. So Julie, I'm looking around my house after listening to this show, and I say, oh gosh, Julie sounds like my girl. I need her to help me. What do you offer in the terms of services or classes or speaking events? Do you travel? Do you actually go through people's garages? Because I know somebody who lives outside of Winston-Salem that could probably really use your help.
I do drive. I would drive to somewhere like Winston-Salem. I also do virtual organization. So if someone's perhaps in a rural area, then what we can do is coach, and they have to be really motivated to do that, though, because I'd be like, okay, here's our game plan. Here's what we're going to do. And I offer classes. I have a Declutter Your Life course, and it's now being sold overseas. So that just started. I'm very excited about that. I also do speaking, presentations, and if you need to clear your clutter or get organized, I'm your gal. Now, having said that, there's an organizer for you. If you're listening, say, nah, Julie, you're just not quite my fit. Don't worry. There are lots of organizers out there that can help you, but I'm passionate about helping you clear your clutter and organize your life.
I really do love that. So we talked about mental clutter. Give me some examples. What do you mean by mental clutter? And give me some examples of that.
So that might be monkey mind. When I started my business, not being able to turn off my mind, it would go 24/7. Oh, I've got to do that. I got to do this. Living in the past or living in the future. Obsessive thoughts, feeling overwhelmed, exhausted or fearful, and unclear goal and priorities are examples that I call mental clutter.
Julie, have we met before? Right, Lori.
I wanted to add something that was mentioned in the last segment. You said talk about owning your stuff, whatever your issues are, and that's like the opposite of the physical stuff, because we have all the things that we have that we own and we hold on to, and then we go into our mental and we have that same type of, we have it opposite, I think is what I'm trying to say. So how do you clear that, release that mental clutter that is opposite of keeping the things in the physical?
Well, one of the things I suggest a couple things. First of all, I'm a huge fan of meditation. And meditation doesn't have to mean that you sit on the little cotton zafu and hold your hands in a certain position and imagine the grain of rice in your teeth, because I tried that and that meditation didn't work for me.
Didn't work for you either.
No, did not work for me. I can barely do meditation. Keep going, Julie. Sorry, I was just laughing. Did we lose Julie, Lori?
I don't know.
I think we did. I thought my laughing offended her. I'm sorry, Julie. Okay, so Lori,
meditation for me is walking. I meditate and I walk.
Yeah, me too. You know what? I got to tell you guys, when I get really, really irritated or anxious or angry, when I start walking, usually by the end of that, it like neutralizes. It like everything seems calmer, everything seems clearer. I'm like, okay, I can go back and deal with whatever happened.
Same with me. I walk. I have to keep moving. I think energetically for me, sitting still, I get distracted real easy. But walking, it just kind of gets me going. I'm moving all the time anyway, so I think that's the way I meditate. And I know she was going to say something about that, so
that's okay. I mean, you and I are good. We can do good. So I guess our point is, as you're looking around this spring and actually it doesn't even matter. It doesn't. That's again is a society program. Other countries are like spring cleaning. They don't even do spring cleaning, Lori. So they wouldn't even, maybe in some of the other countries that listen to the show, even relate to what we're talking about. It is kind of an American thing, I think, maybe a Canadian thing. I'm not sure, but North American thing. But it doesn't matter. I've just been, and maybe it is the minimalist movement. Maybe I've been exposed to more theories. Maybe it's the current energy of, what's going on. Each year is different, has a different focus. But it's been in my heart, Lori, and I don't know about yours, obviously in yours because you did your office. I just can't do it. Like, there's just too much stuff. And most of the stuff and I've even got to tell you about something really simple. You're required to have a TV in your bedroom, right, Lori? Aren't you required as an American?
I do not have one.
Well, but you're supposed to, right? Like that's kind of the general understanding of, culture. So I'm looking at this huge, big TV. I when we lived in Nashville, I bought it when I first moved there. And Lori, honestly, I swear to you, in the past 3 years, I have watched it twice. Why do I have a giant TV? It's like Julie was saying. Why do we have this stuff Because we're supposed to. I am probably one of the less, you would have to agree with this. I would even say this about you. You and I are probably two of the least programmed people on this planet, but we are still so programmed, Lori.
Oh, I know. And I find myself, it's like, why am I thinking this way? And it's like, oh, the masses think this way. This is why I'm thinking this way, and we are programmed. But the one thing that I am about rhythm. And if something makes me feel like I'm stuck and I'm not moving, I try to figure out the big why. And usually it's energy related. And the whole thing with me is I try to deep clean or change the energy once a month. And I do that through the moon cycles. I do that just with the rhythm of the seasons, however that works, however that looks for me. And it makes me excited when I do accomplish that task that I put myself towards, like the new office here. I have I even bought flowers to spruce it up just so I would be, rewarded for all my hard work.
Ooh, you go, girl. I love that. And I don't know if we have Julie back or not. If Julie's back, I want to ask you, Julie, what is the one thing that you can drop really quick before the end of our show that would have the most powerful impact in clearing clutter in our lives?
Having gratitude. Because you can't hold two opposing thoughts in your head. You can't say, oh, I don't have enough, I have less than the Joneses, and be grateful. So when you're grateful, it clears your mental clutter because you're in a place of thankfulness. It clears your spiritual clutter because it really says, okay, I understand what's important. I understand what my priorities are. And again, if you're in gratitude, you clear your emotional clutter because you don't have feelings of jealousy, you don't have feelings of not enough. And gratitude, I think, is one vibration along with love that can really change your life.
Well, I could not have said that better myself. Could you, Miss Lori?
Nope, that holds true.
All right. So, Miss Julie, tell us all the ways we can get in contact with you and get a hold of you. And tell us what is coming up for you. What are you currently working on?
Well, go to reawakenyourbrilliance.com, and that has my phone number. It has my email. You can check out the podcast, Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out. If you're in Raleigh, I'm doing a workshop on spring cleaning in a couple of weeks. I have some books that I'm working on and I'm hopefully going to get out in the next couple months and selling my classes overseas. So if people are listening to the podcast, you can get my Declutter Your Life course, which is also available here in the States. And that's kind of what I've got going on.
Well, that's a lot, and we appreciate your contribution to the planet. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You're a delightful guest. Lori and I enjoyed you so much, and thank you so much for being a guest. We'll have to have you back on The Secret to Everything.
Thank you. I'd love to come back anytime, and thank you all for what you're doing. When we are part of that we community instead of the me community, we can change the world.
Yeah. Absolutely, and well said, my friend. Take care, and best wishes.
Thank you.
All right, so Miss Lori, so what do we have coming up? Let me think a minute. So we're launching a brand new class. It's a woo-woo beyond all the woo-woo, beyond the woo-woo classes. I call it Being Woke. You'll have to listen to probably one of the teasers I'm going to put up on YouTube. It's called the Infinite Lightness of Being, the Quickening, and we're going to be talking about dimensions. We're going to be talking about time. We're going to be talking about psychic abilities. We're going to be talking about lots of information that seriously I can't tell you on the air. Why? Because it's never came in before for me to teach, and I am just learning it. So this whole big library of information coming in of stuff I have never known, never heard anyone else teach, and I have never shared with you. Talk about secrets. We're going to be letting out all the secrets in this class, Lori. I sure hope, Lori, you're going to be a part of it.
Wow, that's pretty exciting. It is exciting. I mean, just some of the things that you've shared are really powerful. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And we've always got lots of things going on. You can have a chakra-free hour reading by going to secrettoeverything.com. Please let us know how you hear about us. We actually do have listeners all over the world. I just want to say from Lori and I and all the staff of Secret to Everything, we so appreciate your participation in what we're doing on the planet. We love you guys. We like to have guests that you guys want to have. Lori does an amazing job. I don't know if you guys know this, but Lori does an amazing job working with our guests and making sure that they're scheduled each week. Rob in the X Zone does an amazing job of facilitating one of the highest professionally produced programs on the air today, and we so appreciate the staff and the folks at the X Zone for allowing us to be on. So we totally. Do you know who's going to be on next week, Lori? By the way.
Yeah, I do, but no.
Yeah,
No,
she's lying. She's like, no.
But
I know one thing. It's going to be amazing. So check out thesecrettoeverything.com.
A paranormal author.
Oh, sounds fun. Tune in next time right here on The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and maybe Lori Wynn.